On this area is where Christian Mooney's home was. It was also the courthouse and the jailhouse. Now, we don't know if anyone was held prisoner here, but we do know a group of gentlemen met here to discuss the resolves, descended King George III. Now, it's easy to think of this time with a 21st century mindset, but you have to go back to 1775. I mean, Britain was the most powerful country in the world. They had the strongest military. Not to mention, most of our ancestors came here and made an oath to the crown. All they had to do was be loyal, and many were given land so they could have their farms. They could be the religion of their choice. It was treasonous to go against the king. But these men meet here to discuss the resolves. When we do this, I want you to pretend you're there. Think about what they're saying. What would you say? What do you believe in? But first, I'm going to let you know who everyone is. Many of them are representing our ancestors. We have Robert Alexander, who's being portrayed by Steve McKee. Christian Carpenter is Robert Riles. Valentine Mooney is Roy Lightfoot. We have Jacob Costner, who's Jeff Elmore. Frederick Hambright, Jeremy Olsen. And Tony Sines will portray Moses Moore. So at this time, the battles of Lexington and Concord are spreading like wildfire across the backcountry of the Carolinas. Tensions are rising, and we know there's trouble between Massachusetts and the mother country, but it's now starting to spread down here. There are a lot of committees and safety committees forming. One is right here today at Christian Mooney's house. So as we begin this dramatization, we want you to, if you hear something you like, please say, huzzah, or hear, hear. If you think it's kind of scary, you might lose your land, tell us. But let's go back 250 years ago and witness the Tryon Resolves.
Gentlemen, please take your seats so that we may address the business of this committee. Blood has been spilled, gentlemen. We've all heard the news from Massachusetts Bay. The Army has killed men of Lexington and Concord. And indeed, there's more trouble there. And it's not trouble for anything that they've done that's treasonous or unlawful. Nay, it is simply because they stood upon their rights as Englishmen.
Sir, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Carpenter.
I pose the following question to you gentlemen. How long before such measures are brought here to North Carolina? What they do to enforce these wicked and terrible acts of Parliament, there, surely they will do here. Is it the place of free men to shrink in the face of tyranny?
They're here.
Ha! Mr. Carpenter, the men of Massachusetts Bay have brought this upon themselves. What do we have here to do with tea, with taxes, and trade? We are simple farmers, sir. I hear men cry for liberty. Liberty. But what of loyalty? What of obedience?
Sir, where have we been disloyal? Where have the men of Massachusetts been disloyal in demanding that the King and the Parliament respect Magna Carta?
Hear, hear.
The compact upon which the Constitution and all British law demand.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Please.
this has been a long time coming, sir. This has been a long time coming, sir. For the past 10 years, Parliament has tried to subdue us. We are here to discuss what resistance we may offer to ensure our liberties, our rights. We are Englishmen.
Here. Mr. Hambright, sir.
The men of Mecklenburg have already decided. They declared themselves free from British chains and forsworn all obligations to the mother country. I'm not advocating that we do the same, but we must provide for our own safety and that of our families. We must resist these coercive acts of despotism, or else we should submit to them forever.
Huzzah!
Gentlemen, if you will. It appears that we should not do as the men of Mecklenburg, but rather we should look to the men of Salisbury and Newbern and Cross Creek and do as they have done, recognizing their country. We should also, of course, as has been said here, resolve to resist the tyranny of Parliament and the despicable acts of that organization. And of course of the Redcoats who are now in Boston as we speak. But I ask you to remember the words of our Lord. What's he say about this situation? We find it in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22:21. Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God. Now, we should not be treasonous against the just law of our country, but rather we should be the defenders of it. I believe sincerely that the king will hear our pleas and will see our resolve.
Huzzah!
Very well, gentlemen. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add upon the subject?
The Continental Congress continues to petition the king on our behalf. However, the Tryon County militia stands ready to answer the call of this committee to secure our rights against any invasion until such a time as reason and sensibility will prevail. No man here wants peace and reconciliation more than I, but I suspect every man here will do his duty.
Hear, hear! Hear, hear!
And so it was, a meeting full of passion and debate, where everybody had questions, and they also had consequential decisions. So in the end, the men of Tryon County did agree on an association on which pledged to follow the instructions of the Continental Congress. That force would be met with force until such a time peace and reconciliation were restored. In the end, there was a compromise, not independence, but not submission.
Gentlemen, I believe all the resolutions which we have discussed and adopted are formally now written down. All that remains then is forming our association. But before we do so, Mr. Carpenter, if you please read the following resolutions.
Yes, sir. The unprecedented, barbarous, and bloody actions committed by British troops on our American brethren near Boston on 19th April and 20th May last, together with the hostile operations and treacherous designs now carrying on by the tools of ministerial vengeance for the subjugation of all British America, suggest to us the painful necessity of having recourse to arms in defense of our national freedom and constitutional rights against all invasions, and at the same time do solemnly engage to take up arms and risk our lives and our fortunes in maintaining the freedom of our country whenever the wisdom and counsel of the Continental Congress or our provincial convention shall declare it necessary. And this engagement we will continue in for the preservation of those rights and liberties which the principles of our Constitution and the laws of God, nature, and nations have made it our duty to defend. We therefore, the subscribers freeholders and inhabitants of Tryon County, do hereby faithfully unite ourselves under the most solemn ties of religion, honor, and love to our country, firmly to resist by force and hold sacred till a reconciliation shall take place between Great Britain and America on constitutional principles, which we most ardently desire, and do firmly agree to hold all such persons as inimical to the liberties of America who shall refuse to sign this association.
Gentlemen, you've heard these resolves. It is something that we have agreed is necessary, and so now it is time to formally adopt them and form the Tryon Association. So in that vein, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Very well, gentlemen, the Tryon Association has been formed. I do ask that you please meet with the secretary to subscribe your name upon the document.
So I just want to quickly talk about these men. I want them to be more than just a monument out by the road. I want you to see them as the people that they were. Is anyone here an ancestor of Moses Moore? Tony's up. Moses was a very wealthy landowner here, and he chose in the end to stay loyal to the crown. His son, John Moore, is one of the most famous loyalists of this area. He fought up and down the South, most famously here at Ramser's Mill in Kings Mountain. But Moses' daughter, my 5 times great-grandmother, married a patriot, Joshua Roberts. So after the battle, when Moses lost his land and had to flee to Florida and died in present-day Tallahassee, Hester was able to keep her childhood home because she married Joshua Roberts. And if you don't know, that property is here in Cherryville, where Walmart stands, and Hester and Joshua are buried back in there by the cornfield. We need to get a marker on those. Do we have any descendants of Jacob Costner? Okay. Well, Jacob made many oaths to the crown, including being able to be the sheriff of Tryon County. But in 1776, when we decided to break away for independence, he joined the Tryon militia. Sadly, him and his wife were trying to cross the South Fork Bend in a carriage in 1779, and the water started rising, flipped over their carriage, and drowned them both. Sadly, Jacob never got to see our country be officially independent of Britain. Many of these men were actual soldiers. Robert Alexander. We all know Frederick Hambright, William Brown, Jacob Forney, a lot of them. Robert Alexander's daughter was engaged to William Chronicle. You know William Chronicle, the South Fork Boys? Well, when William Chronicle led the South Fork Boys at Kings Mountain and was shot and killed, Robert Alexander's daughter lost her fiance. But Frederick Hambright took up the cause, took over the South Fork Boys, led them up the hill on the final charge to Patrick Ferguson. So when we go outside, don't just look at the names. Many of you know you have ancestors on there, but do you know their personal story? These are men, regardless if they became loyal to the crown or fought as patriots. It was a treasonous act that day to come here. And what they did it for us. And because of them, we are now free in the United States of America. So we need to remember them. Before we go outside, Steve's going to talk one quick thing about ancestors.
Okay, so for those of you who are descendants, we'll make sure your names get on this. But also for anybody else here, now you're going to have to sign small. But, Audrey, can you hand me that? It's underneath that quill that contains it. So what I've done is we have a special set of the Tryon Resolves for the 250th anniversary. Now I have added a clause to the bottom, and you notice there's no signatures of ancestors here. It's because I didn't have room, and the plotter to make it bigger was not cooperating. So I've added this clause: we, descendants of and those honoring the subscribers of these resolves, set our hands this day of August 16th in the year of our Lord 2025, the year 250 of the Tryon Association, and the independency of these United States, 249 years. So it's a modern pen, so you don't have to dip in any ink. But if you wish to sign your name for the 250th Tryon Resolves, you may as we exit or probably when we come back. Now, there's two other copies up here that do contain the names that we have made two commemorative copies of the Tryon Resolves as they exist with names signed. There's 50 of each. Normally we don't need 100 copies, but again, it is wonderful to see everybody. Feel free to take a copy with you, suitable for framing, whatever it is that you would like to do.
We are now going to have the color guard
Per family.
prepare to lead us.
Please.
Yeah, per family. Lead us out to the memorial. So let's let the color guard go out first with the fife and drum in front of them, and we will follow.
Just walk out there.
I don't have any of your head. You're good.
They're putting this on TV.
Some TVs.
Like all? Mom did one. Maybe.
Take ready! Freeze it! Fire! Lock and load! Take ready! Freeze it! Up! Shoulder! Fire lock! Secure! Fire lock! Shoulder! Fire lock! By the right about, face.
Hey, you boys wanna go back and shoot y'all again now? You wanna go back and shoot?